It is going to be a fine day for us. Why? Because it is 3/23/23. We're hanging out here in the office hours, and we're going to talk some things about how to purchase terminals and hardware when you need them. But before we get started, let me bring up the best trainers in the PayProTec land, and let's just say in payments land. On the left hand side of your screen, from Glenwood Springs, Colorado, Jenny Rickle. Jenny, how are
Hey,
you?
hey, doing really well, really well. Middle of March, March Madness. We're getting into the final, weeks or so of
Yeah,
that,
eight
and just like
eight
put in those
days.
deals, right? Like, oh my gosh, March goes by so fast. I feel like this promotion really like kicks this month off. So, been moving and grooving and busy, and there's sunshine for the moment, but it has been snowing so much here in Colorado. So, I'm cold and happy though.
Yep. Well, I'm glad you're happy. I wish we weren't cold, but it's cold here. It's not. It's actually like 61 degrees,
Yeah.
but it's just rainy and gray here, at least in Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm
Yep.
assuming it's similar to that 2 hours north. Mr. Mike Stetzel, how are you? 8 days left of March. I mean, let's get it going. I mean, man, there's not much time left, and we're under a third of the month is left.
I agree. Yeah, it's 50 something here, but it doesn't feel like it. No sun, but as Jenny said, we're happy. Number one, we're busy. I know that I was taking partners calls still last night about 6:30. And just there's just a lot of little questions. Everybody's now, as you guys said, coming down to the last 8 days of this challenge, and there's going to be a rush to get these deals in, to get that extra $300 or that extra $1,000 or $500 if you put in more than 5 deals. It just, I love that music you've chosen the last few times, Nate. Number one, for everybody in here in Indiana, it'll be a very familiar sound. It sounds very much like Duke Tomato. I doubt that it is, but those of you
Yeah,
around this
I
area,
don't have the license for that, but
I
yeah,
wouldn't
but it
think
is
so. But
similar.
that's what it sounds like. And it's just an uplifting way to start. And it's going to be a fine day. It's our attitude here at PayProTec.
It is, and even when things go wrong or off the rails a little bit, we just keep. It's Brian Linke's rule number one: don't panic.
Don't
Just
panic.
don't panic. All right, we're gonna be okay. It's gonna be fine. So today we're gonna talk about. Let me bring up the My PayProTec is your greatest resource, and let me tell you, you can go over here and you want to search the things. I got some pre-search. You can tell the things that I search most often with partners: prohibited, CBD, early termination, charge zoom. But I'm going to type in equipment. And I'm going to see this equipment pricing list come up, and boom, look at this. You can actually purchase terminals. I know that most of our deals are done as free placements, but you can purchase a terminal. Jenny, let's start with the high level. Why would you purchase this terminal instead of doing the free placement? What are some of the reasons?
So a lot of times, some sales partners are given the option to have a higher split. And then, so when you have a higher split, though, you do have to purchase your own equipment. So if you do have that option, typically, then you would purchase your own equipment, and then you don't take advantage of the free equipment. A lot of times, as well, seasonal businesses. So as we coming into the summer months, spring is kind of coming and going, and then we come into summer, like landscaping, fireworks stands. A lot of summer venues are coming up. But then if they drop their productivity, maybe you want to have them have their own terminal, so that way they can just have it in their own inventory. They don't have to return it. They don't have to worry about being charged if they don't return it, and they can still have it when they reactivate again. So it also kind of seals in that relationship. Like when they do start processing, they'll stay with you, and you'll be able to have that as an opportunity, just way to network and like, hey, you can have this equipment. So that's an opportunity as well.
I'll add one in there too. Also, when I have a couple A920 Pros here, and I have a couple local merchants that just have just pay as you go, pay anywheres, and but every once in a while they have events where they need a couple more ways to take payments, and they will either. I also have some of those, some of the Bluetooth 3-in-1s and 2-in-1s in stock that I can just let them use and borrow for their event, and then take them back. And so you've purchased those so you can actually help people out in events, expand when they need to. So, and especially some of these where you can actually log in and use them for like the Pay Anywhere terminals where you can actually, it's a user login. And so they can come in, we can come in and give them some of those terminals. They can use them for 2 days and then you bring them back. It just makes you another resource. Now, Mike, it's not, these are things, there are caveats to when you purchase that, because when we are doing the free placement, they are actually they need to return that to us if they ever stop processing. It's basically that they are borrowing that piece of hardware. They would owe us the money if they don't have that. But what are some of the things they need to think through about what that means for the merchant if that terminal or that piece of hardware stops working during the time that they're using it, and what that means for the partner and the merchant?
So if you as an agent decide to purchase the terminal for your customer, or you ask them to purchase it, either way, and something breaks, after 90 days, the manufacturer's warranty is gone. So at that point, if they are members of the premium payments hub, they would have the ability to get that exchanged. Um, if they're not, they would be looking at purchasing a new terminal. Thankfully, we don't see that happen too often, but that is a different scenario than, as Nate said, borrowing our terminal, because anytime that printer breaks or something else is wrong, we will replace that for them. But it's not always the case with those owned terminals.
Now, the other thing that happens there, Jenny, is that when you have purchased a terminal, you can choose, or not even you purchase a terminal. If you don't want to purchase a terminal, but you are asking the merchant to purchase a terminal, how can you handle that? And can you charge more than the retail price that you're being charged?
Absolutely. When you submit an application on over to us, you can place a request to purchase the equipment. And then there's actually a portion where you can say charge to merchant. So you can go ahead and increase your cost, right? We're going to sell them to you as a sales partner at cost. But if you'd like to have an increase to go ahead and upsell it a little bit to the merchant, just let us know what that total amount is and we'll cut the difference, right? So we'll charge the merchant for the cost that you requested and we'll cut the difference to you. So we can absolutely assist with that process as well for those new applications. So that's not a nice perk as well. And then again, back to what Nate was saying, like if you have a spare, if somebody has a terminal that goes out, and if we do have to swap it, but hey, it's a weekend and they're not going to get it till Monday, that way you have something that you can provide them to process over a weekend if the terminal goes out as well. So there's a lot of good reasons why you could purchase some equipment just to have as your own.
Well, and to mix in other pieces of equipment. So let's say merchants want to have a backup machine there. They don't need, if they're using an E700 and the Smart POS Plus on the Pay Anywhere, they may not want to have a second one. They just may want to have the Smart Terminal there next to it. And instead of having the whole large two of those and have a backup. So maybe they get one as a free placement and then they have to purchase others. Mike, a lot of times in our, like they have a certain amount of free placements that they can have. When they're looking for purchase and mixing free placements with purchases, does that change anything for us when they're setting them up?
Say that last part again. So we've got some that they've earned by the amount of business they're doing with us.
Right. And then they have some that they need to purchase. Is there anything that they need to change in how they handle that?
Um, there's not. I mean, first off, one of your relationship managers would need to, submit your statement to one of our directors who would approve the number of free terminals they can get. We then have them purchase. Someone's going to purchase the balance of those. And obviously, if we part ways with that merchant at any time, the free ones come back to us. The purchased one goes to either the agent or the merchant, whoever actually made that purchase. Was that what you're asking, Nate, or did I miss it?
No, I think that general, just when you start blending them together, and I think that happens for our partners, they go into a place, they say, man, I'd really like to have terminals in 3 different places, but they only qualify for one. And so then they have to figure out how are they going to use that. Is the merchant going to pay for it? The partner going to pay for it? Blending all those pieces together. But also what I heard in the key there is make sure you talk to the relationship manager first. So you walk through what are the possibilities and opportunities when you're having multiple potential free placement or a mixed free placement with purchase terminals, because they just want to make sure you cross all your T's and dot your I's and make sure everything's right there.
And another, if I could just add one more thing, another thing to think about when you're doing this is for a person who's accustomed to always giving away free terminals, they've never paid $200 for a Desk 3500 or $349 for a Pay Anywhere Smart Terminal. But let's say this is an account that's cash discount, and you decide, geez, I really want to pay that $199, and then you realize that's going to be less than 1 month of your residual. And that's the part you have to think about. I can have this paid back to myself in 1 month. So heck yes, let's make this work. The terminal balked when I asked them to purchase it. I'll make this work and I'll get the deal.
Yep. Well, and that's when you start thinking, when you start working, a lot of times this comes into play when you're looking to work with your free placement deal or excuse me, your higher split deal, not free play, your higher split that doesn't have the free placement, and you start process. But the reason you don't get the free placement is because you're making all those extra points. And that means probably more likely you're going to have that money to be able to go in there and quickly make those purchases, work with the partners, merchants. There's lots of ways you can do this. And the pricing, as you can see, I mean, it ranges from, the basic ICT 250s at $239, the Desk 1500s, Desk 3500s at $199, up to all the way to, I think the most expensive thing on this sheet is $949.95. Couldn't go $950. We had to make sure that price was 5 cents less than that, but because you feel better
Very
about that.
normal
So, yep. So, but and it doesn't. All these services you can purchase, and you may even want to have demos. I think a lot of our partners will have a part. I'd say the A920 is the most popular, but purchase a demo for themselves to be able to use in the field. Jenny, Mike, I don't know which one you want to take that, but do you see that a lot of our partners actually having these and taking and walking and showing them?
Yep, absolutely. The thing to keep in mind with that for a demo is that you need to have a merchant ID associated to it to really see all the functionality and the configurations you can do. Like, you don't just want a terminal without a merchant ID associated to it, because then it really just like turns on and off, right? I mean, there's a test mode, but it doesn't have a lot of configuration. So if you do want to have a demo unit, come ask your relationship manager. We can assist. We'll just set you up with a merchant ID within our system. And then it's against your residuals, right? So it's not a loss on your end. And then you can actually be part of that program where if you need to replace it, or if you need to add something or change something, like, you have that ability. So that's also a great opportunity as well for those units.
Perfect. See, all these things we're learning. Anything I've missed that we should have been talking about when it comes to purchasing hardware, making sure you have terminals in your place, and putting those in? Anything I've missed?
One person, I shouldn't say one person, more than one person who has made the investment, typically in a Pay Anywhere smart terminal is what I've seen the most for $349, has said that it made it so much easier. When he showed them that, it was really a jump start to the conversation. It was not difficult anymore. Now there's something to talk about here, something that looks different than anything they've seen before. So yes, I'm not going to lie, it's an investment, but again, it's a little over half of the upfront bonus for a Pay Anywhere account, 1/2 of one bonus. So to make it easier, they go, oh, you can put something in their hand, they can touch it, and I don't know how to explain it, but it's just much better.
Yeah. Well, if you're a person that walks into buildings and meets with owners in person, then having that to be able to walk in and show them, and then show them they could pull it up on their phone, but they can also use it here on the A920, and then you can show pictures of the others. I don't think most are walking in with the E700s, but maybe you are. It's a pretty big piece of it. You're more hefty. I don't know. You can do that if that's the way you want to go. But giving that experience, especially when you're walking into places and they're still running on a deprecated VX520, and you can say, look, this is the things you could do. This is how it would work for you. And that is a great show and tell. How about Jenny, Mike, anything else?
I mean, just like final words is that this is really just another opportunity to have a lot of tools in your toolbox with us. We offer free merchant placements, which is a nice, like, hands-off experience. We'll program it, we'll send it, they just have to return it back. But then you can purchase the equipment, you can add additionals, you can provide loaners if their terminal goes out, you can give an additional piece of equipment if they have a show, just as a one-time offer. So really, like, whatever is needed for that business, ask us, we can help. It's another option to just really set your part apart from the rest, because you have all these opportunities.
Yeah, I love it. Mike, any last words?
I don't have much today. I think, like I said last time, I'm happy with this. We did it.
Hey,
thank you all for listening.
Yeah. Here's my takeaways. Number one, always go to mypapertech.com. Probably your answer is already there. Number two, you have the choices are immense. You can place it, you can buy it, you can purchase it, you can do it. It's payments done your way, as you're in charge. You're the partners. It's your merchants. You're the partners. We're here to help and assist you along the way. let us be. And always reach out to your relationship manager and the trainers. They will take incredible care of you. This has been another episode of Office Hours. Make March matter. You've got 8 days. This will actually be our last Office Hours for March because we're taking a week off. I'm on spring break next week. Jenny's helping her son get his driver's license. Life is good. We're happy, and we will see you in April. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.